Hi everybody, it's Christina with PrettyDistressed.com. I'm back for another video finishing my dresser. We're all done painting and today I'm going to distress. There are two ways to kind of go at this point. You could either wax first with your clear wax and then distress, or you can distress first and then clear wax. Annie Sloan recommends waxing before you distress. I'm trying to get this piece done for a garage sale next week and I have another piece that I want to do. So I'm going to kind of try to speed up the process by distressing first. If you don't wax before you distress, you're going to take off a lot more paint, so you need to be a little light-handed when you're distressing before waxing. But I'm pretty good at this. I got the hang of what I like and what I don't like. So I'm going to distress before I wax, and I'm going to do that by using a sanding block. This is just a rubber 3M sanding block. There's all different kinds. You can just get it at your hardware store. It has little spikes in it, and I just rip up a piece of sandpaper and put that on there. I use a medium grade. Today I'm using 150. The numbers are up here. Sometimes I use 100, but today I'm going to use 150 to distress. So when you start distressing, the idea behind it is to rub and wear the areas that would see distressing or aging over time, and we're just going to kind of speed up this process using sandpaper as opposed to letting light and wear and water and whatever else would distress it over time. We're just going to kind of speed up that process. So I think a good place to start is just places that would get normal wear and tear anyways, and that have detailing. So for all my drawers, I go around and I do the edges of all the drawers. And this piece I'm planning on selling. I like my stuff really shabby, but I know not everybody tends to go that way, so I use kind of a lighter hand if I know I'm going to be selling the piece so that it can appeal to more people. I also do like to rough up the hardware a little bit if I paint it, because that's going to get wear as well, so I want that peeking through. And this is the part that gets kind of scary, because as you're doing this, you're like, I don't know, this is looking weird, but once you get the wax on, it kind of finishes the whole thing. And I've heard a lot of people say, and I find myself too, like it starts looking really bad right before it starts looking really good. So don't get scared in the process, just keep going. If you get to the end and you don't like the piece, you can always just paint and touch up the pieces that you think look a little too worn or just aren't looking right. So don't be scared to be adventurous and just kind of dig in and see what you can create. So again, I'm going to go over all this detailing that sticks out just to give it a little character. I just am really random with it because a piece naturally is going to be randomly worn. I also like to get like any detailing in the edges and the corners on the sides. I always get the corners really well too, because that's going to be a place that's going to wear. And since I got detailing here, I'm going to try to get in those spots a little bit. So here is just a close-up of what distressing is supposed to look like close up. I know in these videos it's hard to see what I'm doing, but you can see how I kind of distress the edges there. You can see some wood peeking through as well as on the hardware. So that's kind of the idea behind distressing, you can see. So now I'm done with the sanding part. So what I'm going to do, I want to get all this dust off before I start waxing it. So I'm just going to take a big brush. You can use any paint brush you have. I use this one to paint and to dust. It's just a synthetic big brush is probably about 3 inches. And so I just go in here and make sure I'm getting all the dust off. You can use a tack cloth too, but I find that doing a brush like this helps get all the stuff that's in the crevices. So I'll do this first, and then I'll probably use a tack brush over that. I'm now done with my distressing piece, so our next steps are going to be wax, which we'll talk about in the next video. And you don't have to worry about your piece being perfect right before you start to wax. Waxing itself is going to distress the piece a little bit more, and after you wax, if you're not happy with your level of distressing, you can always go back and distress more once you have the wax on. So don't feel like your piece has to be perfect or complete at this point, because you can still play with it a lot. If you've taken any of your distressing too far, at this point you can go back and paint some spots back on if you feel any spots are too bare or you don't like wood showing through. Let's go ahead and get that done before we start the waxing process. But I'll be back in my next video to talk about clear wax and dark wax to finish off our piece. In the meantime, you can check out prettydistressed.com for more painting tips, to see some of my work, as well as other home decor ideas. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care.